Yes, yes, yes. Welcome to another episode of Hip Hope Hooray, Men Talking Health. I am your MC for this episode. I am Oya Gilbert, and we got a really boss program for you today. In the building, as you probably can see, I got some of my constituents. Got a great cast of fellas in the building, and today's topic that we're going to talk about is having myeloma, how that affects and the dynamics of a care partner in that equation from the patient's perspective. I know it's probably weird, you're saying, well, why don't you have a care partner up there? The point is for us to honor the care partner and the journeys that go along with those in our lives. Each one of us has a different situation and how that translates to being advocates and how all those variables can affect your relationship with your care partner. I'm gonna let each one introduce themselves. I got a dope cast in the building, but I'm gonna start to my left, which would be your right. Introduce yourself, sir.
Mr. Thomas Goode from Durham, North Carolina. I am a 20-year myeloma survivor, and I am glad to be on this panel with my fellows right here.
It's a podcast, but we're gonna let him slide. Yeah,
It's still a panel.
Yeah, I know. On my right, please introduce yourself.
Hello, I am Tony Newberne. I'm from Charlotte, North Carolina. I was diagnosed with high-risk myeloma in 2013, September, and I just yesterday was 12 years for me.
Woo! I'll put some sound effects in later.
Yes.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
And to my further right,
The token white guy is here.
it isn't. This time he's not. See, this guy always got the. We got the wonderful, illustrious Michael.
Yeah, not Mike.
Not Mike.
Yeah,
Don't
not
call him
Mike, please. Not
Please
Mike.
introduce yourself.
So anyhow, so you can cut all that from your podcast there.
Oh no, that's staying in there, play.
But Michael Riotto, I'm from right outside of Philadelphia, Bucks County. I am a 14-year myeloma survivor, and I am thrilled to be. This is my second time with you, I think.
Yeah,
I'm thrilled
yeah.
to be here today with these three great gentlemen. They are absolutely wonderful to work with. So.
Well, Michael, Tom, I'm glad y'all are here. I'm super excited. I don't want to tell you my story because you already heard it probably a quadrillion times, but I want to dive straight into it. So, in the season of all of us being diagnosed with this disease, I want to say or believe we all had care partners in our lives at that time.
Yes,
Okay.
correct.
I want to go briefly to, and I'll start with you, Michael. Where were you at with your care partner, and who is that person, or who was that person, and just describe that time frame for me real quick.
So back in the beginning, when I was diagnosed in July of 2011, my wife at that point was my total care partner and total support, and she hung with me for several years until just recently.
So, at that time, and I know you say just recently, and we're gonna dive back into it. I'm gonna go to you, Tom. Could you explain to him where you was at with your care partner and at that time frame?
Yes, so at that time for
It's
me...
Tony. I'm calling Tone. I got another homie named Tone because he
Tony.
don't.
It's okay. But yeah, so I think my dynamic for my care partner, and we had actually been together for a year and maybe 6 months when I was first diagnosed. And I remember getting that diagnosis and looking over at him and saying, "Are you gonna leave me now?"
Wow.
And he was like, "Don't insult me like that. I'm gonna be with you until the end." And to this very day, he is there. He is the most supportive individual that I could have ever asked for through all the dynamics, from the advocacy through the diagnosis, the appointments. He's there. He wants to be involved. He's very supportive.
So first of all, that's super heavy right there. I mean, first, I didn't really know that portion of it, because even in my particular case, it was less than a year that we were together. And when I was diagnosed, it didn't unfold the same way with the dynamic, but I did think the same thing. Like,
Right.
What a tremendous burden to put on someone, especially when you just, first meeting them and you're dating. It wasn't like Michael's situation. He was married.
Right, I was
so-
married. I was already married for 20 years, and
Right.
the relationship was solid and well built, and so yeah, she was right by my side. I mean,
Right.
when we both read the book at the same time when we got the diagnosis, the book says, life expectancy 5 years or less. We're like, oh wow, we're in this fight. We got to fight. We got to have you live.
Right.
I mean, and she was right there by my side the whole time until just recently.
I got you. We're gonna get into that.
We're gonna get
Yeah. Thomas.
Same here, like Michael. I was married at the time, and at the beginning, my wife was super supportive with my diagnosis. She was with me through the appointments. She was with me, through the walk and everything that was going on. But as time progressed, we grew apart. I'll go that route.
Right.
We grew apart, and things differed. So.
Yeah, and you know what? Unfortunately, when we're dealing with cancer, this is just life. You don't need cancer. It ain't always smooth and rosy and all that wonderful stuff. It's reality, and I always say that doesn't negate or take away from the impact of that time frame, that season. At least in my mind, it doesn't.
Right.
And for me, at that time frame, it was less than a year. It's kind of funny because I would come to her house because I didn't know I had. Well, none of us really did, but I was just fatigued like a mug, so I would go over her house and just fall asleep. So she thought, oh, this dude got another chick, you know what I'm saying? He come over here, and you know what I'm saying? Like he's tired. What's up? So, which makes perfect sense, but in my mind, I'm just, you're doing what you're just doing.
Right.
So. It is a challenging situation, and I like to pivot from there, knowing that how crazy this disease is and how deadly it can be. You can have a really great quality of life. I want to make sure I share that.
Most definitely.
Yes.
I think also it's really hard for me to imagine not going through this with some kind of care partner. It doesn't need to. You don't have to necessarily be in a relationship.
A significant other.
A significant other, but I just don't know how you do this alone. And so to those that maybe have to, my prayers go out to them, and hopefully you find somebody, sooner than later. But what I really want to try to focus in on is when you say, Michael, that you were married, you were going through the disease, so you diagnosed, you get your treatment. How did you feel? You said it was your wife. How did you feel towards your wife during that time frame of that sacrifice of being sick, going to the doctor's appointment, or did she go to the doctor's appointment? Let me not assume, but what was your mindset towards your care partner at that time and how you felt about her?
So in the beginning, my wife went to every appointment, every infusion, every treatment for 10 years. I mean, all the way through, she was my rock. She was right there all the time. I mean, I never had to rely on a friend or public transportation or anything. And whatever I needed, she was right there with 100% support. I often think back that she had it way more difficult than I did. I'm the guy just getting stuck with needles and getting chemotherapy or whatever it is. She's the one who had to take care of me, organize most of my schedule. She had to take care of 2 kids, one in college, one at home, run a household, and literally she's doing all that while I'm just trying to live,
Right.
or trying to live my life or stay alive.
Yeah.
And I often thought that wow, how I don't know how she did all that, to be honest with you. Boy, I really don't, because I think that whole part of it was challenging. But as we moved along through the years, and I don't know if you want me to go here yet or not, but
No, go ahead.
but as we moved along through the years, she became resentful, as a care partner does, because every time we'd go to a Christmas party, every time to a birthday party, anytime a social party, what's the first thing that happens? Michael, how are you? She'd be standing right next to my side, but she was like invisible. And no matter how many times we tried to pivot the conversation to say, my wife's right here,
Right.
and ask her how she's doing, it didn't happen. And so over time, she became resentful of the fact that I always got the attention. And trust me, I didn't want the attention.
Who wants that?
I didn't want the attention,
right.
but you got it anyhow. It's just the fact of you're living with an incurable cancer, you get the attention. And it's like,
Right.
we tried for several years to kind of move that attention away from me, you know, and
Right.
we'd walk in the room and make sure she was ahead of me.
Right.
You know, let them ask about her first or the kids or something, rather than, Michael, how's your cancer? Are you still alive, you know? And that became the whole pivot point probably 3, 4, 5 years ago, how she started to like pull away and stop going to appointments.
And all that's valid, but that's as you lean more towards in your advocating. You see what I'm saying? Like before you were, or was that during the process you weren't advocating? You were just Michael with the disease.
Yeah, I think some of the biggest pivot point was 2018 when I stopped my full-time work.
Okay.
I had already been advocating and doing some work, but not on a much smaller scale at that point. But in 2018, you know, my bone pain became so bad and I couldn't walk literally. I had to have some back surgery and things to make me be able to function. And at that point, I realized that I had this passion. I love doing advocacy work,
Right.
whether it's teaching people to self-advocate or legislative advocacy, it doesn't matter which way, but I found that passion, and so I started to get involved with more and more organizations, you know, several trips to Washington, D.C., several trips to mission speeches, several speeches to support groups, to share knowledge about either self-advocacy or legislative advocacy. And she again didn't support that. She didn't like me being away.
Right.
She didn't like when I had to travel 3 days.
It's that
or
time
gone.
thing.
It's the whole time thing, yeah. Because you know, I don't know whether she thought maybe he's gonna die and I'm not having enough time with her, you know, or with him. I don't know. We've never ever got to that point of
Yeah, but I mean, they haven't. So in my mind, I always look at it as they haven't signed up for that.
No.
You know, they didn't even sign up for the cancer
exactly.
portion of it either, the
yeah.
care partner for it. So let alone now you want to add on top of it some extra with some advocating. And you know, as I look hindsight 2020, I can see it. Now we're gonna definitely get into what is it right, wrong. I don't know if that's you can really define that, but I guess the point is to recognize from a humbling standpoint, to be grateful for the time frame, but also understanding like, you know, they didn't ask for the cancer, and they darn sure didn't ask for the advocating. And I'm gonna get to you, Tony, but yours is so rosy. I got to save you for the closeout. I got to save you for the closeout. We're gonna get through all the emotional portion on here. Thomas, you know, share with us about your wife, and the same question I bring to you.
Well, with my wife, it was different because by the time I started advocating, her and I had pretty much grew apart. You know,
okay.
so but I did have others, you know, some friends or a female that I was dating, and she kind of didn't accept me as an advocate. You know, it was like the point of, like you said, I'm in the forefront, and why do they have to speak to you? Or how can you speak to him and you don't know him? You know, something like that. Now you're taking away from my purpose. You know, this is what I've been put here for. I'm not going to resort back to being, you know, the person I am, because now this is my purpose. This is my role. This is what I am here to do, is advocate for myself and others,
Right.
to share my story, because I know my story will help the next person that's coming with myeloma.
Yeah, it's man, that was profound, because it got me to thinking about how many people in this world really find their purpose. Like really just know why they're here.
You're 100% right on that.
You know your why.
You know your why, right.
And it sucks that it took myeloma for us to
Right.
realize what our why is.
All four of us.
Yeah. I'm not really sure. I think that might just be a common motto for cancer patients, but definitely for myeloma patients. Like, why did it take this for me to see the world probably the way we should be all looking at it? You know, it's all the time.
All the time. Yeah, exactly.
And so, you know, for me, it was, you know, I'm going to be transparent with you. I was not a saint in my relationship. So that created some, once again, adding another dynamic, a variable to our already tense situation. Mm-hmm. And so, but I tried to fix that. You know, I've got even more dedicated to what I was doing with her, and trying to do what you said, Michael, trying to fix that portion, but also as I had all of a sudden transitioned into this space of advocating, because we were just trying to get over the cancer part.
Yeah.
And now you want to do this. And I don't know if you decide to be an advocate. I really don't. I think it's something that just overtakes you.
Yeah.
It wasn't like I purposely did this to spend less time, with you.
Right.
I would never do that, and it's very challenging. And I am currently not involved. I won't speak for you, but these are the things that were the byproducts or side effects of not only just the cancer, but taking that next step of trying to be an advocate and living that life, because it is always in the limelight. No matter what you try to do, I can't take it. God knows I like to take this cancer away. I don't want none of this smoke. You know what I mean?
Right.
I don't want none of this energy, but
Right.
it's here.
It's here, and we have to deal with
And
it.
Right.
Yes.
And you got to
yes.
harness it and use it.
Yes.
To good purpose.
And that's where the advocating comes from, because of our story, because of what we've been through. We know that we have a story to tell, and we know our story is going to relate to somebody else.
Absolutely.
Now the care partner that comes with us, and for that long run, we need them to understand that this is our purpose.
Yes.
This is why we're here, and this is what we do.
It does take a special personality.
It takes a special person to understand
Right.
that they are here for a reason, and
Right.
this is what they need to do,
Yeah.
because like all of us are long-term survivors, and we wouldn't be here without what we do and the help that we have from others.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm looking forward to a future
Right.
episode where it's just care partners, because they deserve their own kind of shine.
Yeah.
Because it is a different dynamic than
is.
what we're dealing with. I'm not going to sit here and try to weigh both of them. I know what you said though, Mike, but it's challenging to say. I'm sure. I will probably think for me. I would trade. I don't want cancer to be with anyone, but I think from a standpoint of a care partner, outside of the disease, the poking and the pride and all those other wonderful things, the stress and the amount of energy that they put into it is equivalent to me.
Oh,
Right.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
Or harder, I thought.
Your work, you could, depending on the condition
Right.
of the patient.
Yeah,
like
exactly.
If you're in a bad space, yeah, I as we stated before, there's patients that can barely function, walk, barely get out of bed, things of that nature, and somebody still has to, and life is still lifing.
Yeah,
like you
that's
said,
right. Doesn't
kids,
stop.
job,
Yeah.
bills, people knocking on the door, all those things are still happening. You're
not gonna
frustrated
stop.
because somebody cut you off in the road, but
Right.
Tone, I want to jump to you because and I do want to get back to something because you said it's something really key that as far as feeling invisible. I want to revisit that, but I want to shed some positive light. Even though it's all positive, but I want to shed some positive light on the care partner. It's not all doom and gloom. Don't get that confused. It's not all doom and gloom. Tony, could you share a little bit about your care partner? And you shared earlier, but more in depthly on how that dynamic works.
Yes, absolutely. So my situation for me, I think was such a blessing as well, finding someone that now I've been with for 14 years, but it's amazing in the very beginning where you have a care partner who is a physician, and
that helps.
and
Yeah.
and also it does help, but sometimes he has to take that MD role away and create that personal side, and he has learned how to adjust the two. Because in the very beginning, it was frustrating for me where he would put that medical hat on.
And you just wanted to be a care
Yes,
partner.
yes,
Yeah, you just
yes,
wanted to love on you.
Exactly.
Yeah, I got you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So now he has that part, like it's there. But from the very beginning, so instrumental in every appointment. He showed up because I presented myself in the hospital in the ER with incomplete renal failure, a broken back. I couldn't walk, going through radiation, and he's now dealing with this. And I remember him saying, this is so different from me taking care of patients when it's taking care of now a patient that I love. and I have a relationship with, like, it's difficult for me. This is very difficult and it's stressful. And I realized that was very stressful for him. So I wanted to take a lot of that burden away from him. So the first year and a half, I didn't drive. I couldn't drive. I could have driven, but I was so afraid of someone running into the back of me and hurting my back and stuff. So it's like, I'm not driving. I'm not getting behind the wheel of a car. So he took me to every appointment. He was there. He was involved. But once I got well and I got more comfortable and that PTSD went away and that traumatic stress went away from me, I'm like, okay, I can take myself to my own appointments. I can drive. I want to take this burden away. So anytime I could do that for myself, I did that.
And that has to help you as a patient too.
Exactly. 'Cause
Absolutely.
You always want your independency back.
Right.
Absolutely correct.
You want the care partner there, but you also want to know them to know that, hey, I can do this on my own. Let me do
try.
this.
Right,
Let me do this on my
Absolutely.
own. Because now it's putting me back into a space where I feel like I'm normal again.
Yes, yes. And I think balancing those two things through our relationship has worked harmoniously. Like it truly has worked harmoniously. Have there been times, you know, I'm very strategic as well about what I share to, like, if I'm having bad back pain one day or I'm stressed about something, I hold that in. I keep that to myself. And Julian is a he communicates a lot and he wants to know. And sometimes I'm like, I'm okay. I just wanna be with me right now. And it's nothing that you've done.
Right.
I just want to be me. I want to be by myself. I just need that time to decompress. It took a while for him. Decompress. I just need a moment.
You ain't do nothing wrong.
Absolutely.
You know, the sky's not falling.
Yes.
I just need just a
give me a minute.
just a second. Just to get myself together.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So sounds like a dope dude. You know, for me, I think I was a little bit more self-sufficient. However, from an emotional standpoint, fragile as I don't know what. You know, and so for her to be there at that time frame, that helped out once she found out. I know that sounds crazy, but when she found out I had cancer, that did help out because she was like, okay, okay.
Yeah.
You know, but from an emotional standpoint, you know, at that time frame, I was living in an area where I didn't have any family. I really didn't know anybody. And even the people I did know, they were all like co-workers.
Right. And you're not going to share with them.
Listen, that was the last people I was trying to share with.
Yeah, you didn't share with them.
So to be able to have that at that time frame, for me, it was everything. And that everything, as the relationship continued, we sort of had to fall in love in the cancer ward. Do you understand? During treatment.
Yeah.
That's where the connection, you know, got airtight, strengthened. And so to come back out on the other side and I'm speaking about me, and for me not to respect that that sacrifice was horrific on my part. And so that is what fueled me to fix and correct that, because I was like, hey man, you can't do stuff like that to people.
Right.
You know, especially in this position. This wasn't like a game. We're not in high school. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so that's, you know, and that's what I did. And that's when the even more emotional part of being able to just cry, man. Like I'm not afraid to, you know, say that in any type of shape, form, or fashion, is that sometimes you just need a good cry sometimes.
No question.
Like it ain't
about
even got to be like a whole lot wrong. Nope. You just sometimes as an emotional release.
Yes.
And so
Yes.
So I definitely want to give kudos to all our care partners, no matter where they are in our lives.
Yes.
Yeah.
But it was absolutely paramount to have those folks in our lives. I want to jump back to what Michael said, the invisible part, because this is one of the things I have struggled with this entire time in my own scenario, and when I watch other advocates as we, you know, this is like a family, other
Yeah.
advocating folks, especially ones that are couples in that space. You said invisible, and I thought about that. Like, I don't ask to come in a room and all eyes on me. And all of a sudden, that light for the person you walked in, like, it both shines on you when you first enter.
Yeah.
When you first enter, it's like, it's on. But then as instantly, the light on them starts getting smaller and dimmer and dimmer.
Yeah.
And I recall just doing everything, because she had a great personality, because it all depends on personality. Some people's introverted, extroverted. She definitely was not that. But still the light wasn't shining on them enough. And I wonder, as time has progressed, was it those things, instead of just the act of advocating and time, those might have been the things that were said, but what was the root cause for me? And I think invisibility, which is, crazy to think about it, but I think that is what I can see in all of the scenarios. Could you comment on that and your thoughts on that?
I don't think it was more of invisibility to me. I think it was more of the diagnosis itself. The cancer diagnosis, the change of life, the change of everything.
Okay.
For prime example, diagnosed young, 34 years old, I was forced to medically retire. Therefore, I was forced to do a different role in my house as a husband. You know what I'm saying? So that put a burden on my spouse, that put a burden on the family, and it made it rougher for us throughout that time frame. So yeah, it's easy for us to grow apart when things aren't the same.
Right.
As things differ, then we grew apart, and then my role changed. My role changed from being that person. I've gotten better, I've gotten healthier, so now I'm more of an advocate, now I'm more outspoken, so now I know what my role is.
Right.
So and that's how my route went.
It's like you found your purpose now.
I found my purpose, like I said earlier, my why, and I go with my why.
Yeah.
Michael?
I'm going to tag on that, and along with the invisible part, when I stopped working my full-time job in 2018, the same thing happened. Finances shifted, everything. I became a consummate house dad, pretty much. My wife was the healthcare provider. She was the breadwinner. She was the breadwinner. And me, I did the wash, the dishes. I mean, the whole. So you're
Cut
right.
the grass, wash the car.
I shifted totally from a different dynamic. So along with her being invisible. All of a sudden she's the breadwinner, and she, in her mind, it's like, I have to force myself to work. I have to keep a job. I have to keep a job for healthcare.
Right.
Which is kind of crazy in this world, but that's the way
the
thought process. And so she eventually, and I wasn't supposed to be living. I'll be real honest with you.
That's the point right there.
As I'll be honest with you, we went to marriage, couples therapy and everything, and this all came out, and she literally resented the fact that I was still alive. She thought she'd have a different life. Wow. I mean, without me in it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get emotional.
That's not good. Take your time, man.
Literally, I was supposed to be dead. I mean, when we planned out our finances, we were the first time we met with a financial advisor planning for someone to die. Usually, you're planning for someone to live long and have money, and we had to figure out how much we could spend all the time and make it last for like 5 years. That's because we thought I would live for 5 years. And I'm here 14 years later, which is freaking awesome.
And that's why they shouldn't say when we first diagnosed, you only got, because they told me the same thing.
They gave me like 3, to be honest with you. Less. They didn't think, because I was so far gone, they didn't think I'd make it.
I didn't want to lose that moment.
But I mean, all that factored in, and she stopped caring about my appointments. Didn't want to go. Didn't want to hear if my back hurt. Didn't want to hear what my blood work. If I had a PET scan, didn't want to. She cared less, and I can't say I blame her.
Right.
I mean, I sort of maybe get some of it. I really don't, but
I
really don't. And I gave it my all to make it work. I tried to do everything in the world, but it's okay.
Yes.
In the end, I'm gonna be okay. I'll never forget talking with Tony a few weeks ago when I had to go for my first back surgery, and at this point, we're split, and I'm like, oh my God, I need someone to take me. And then all of a sudden, he reminded me, he says, Michael, you have a bunch of friends. You have a bunch of people that can help you, And I'm like, oh, wait, I could ask Carol. Right. And Carol took me to all 3. I mean, I didn't realize that I had a bigger support system out there.
You don't have to be in a relationship with your support system. You know, like you know what I'm saying.
Future son-in-law took me for son. I mean, all of a sudden I started like tapping all these different things that I had right there and never realized I had.
Right.
Like that phrase, it takes a village. We have a village, man.
Yeah.
You just have to tap into them.
Just gotta reach out.
You know, because they always say, "What can I do to help?"
Yes.
And it's up to us to say, "Hey, can you do this for me?"
Absolutely.
And you know who these people are, so strategically, like I ask advice from certain people for certain things. You see what I'm saying? Because because I want, certain people will have that skill set or that knowledge base. I think that's still with the same thing in our support system. I know a select group over here, this is what they can offer as resources to me. And so if you I always say spread your hustle, along that thing, appointment here with this person over here is a great cook, but they ain't got no car. Let me just use that as a, so they can help you with maybe some of the meals and things of that nature.
Right.
But Michael, I do feel you. I tend to wonder the same thing as well, from a standpoint of, cancer solidified a relationship, but it also tore it apart.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so, as you navigate across that timeline, you're not, you're not in your care partner's head. You would love to be, or maybe not, but you're not in your care partner's head. You don't know what they're thinking. You're just going and doing. And I do believe at some point you have to make decisions so that they might not be the most greatest decision in the world, but it's the best decision for peace. Because I can tell you right now, that's the most important thing on the planet to me, is protecting my peace.
You just said it.
You know what I'm saying? I did it with the wrong hand.
That's my word right there. Protect your peace. That's it.
I'll always forget. What, about 2 years ago, maybe? Thomas and I were at a conference, and I found out that he was just recently divorced. And I said, so tell me about the process. Tell me how you came to that. And he says, Michael, you need to take care of yourself. You need to protect your peace.
Yeah.
And I tried for a good solid 18 months after I spoke with you to make it work.
Right.
And there was some point earlier this year, and I said, you know what? It ain't gonna work. I need to be able to do what I need to do for me. And that was it. That was the calling card.
And the protecting the peace portion ain't just like a selfish thing. Like, it's for them too.
Exactly.
They might not realize,
exactly.
Because I'm not even wasn't feeling super great about the whole separation thing. No. But I understood that sometimes you got to make tough decisions. We should know that. We're living with myeloma and that type of thing. Sometimes you have to make tough decisions that's going to bring peace in the long run. Maybe not on both sides. Maybe not initially.
Yep.
And that doesn't also. And I'm not sitting here trying. This is not a dating show or a therapist show. But I'm just saying, full circle. You don't understand how life is. It could come back some other time in some other scenario in some other season, where maybe they recognize, let's say, more so the growth that it takes. Because that's what happened with us, is we were growing, they were growing, but we were growing in different directions. And I hate to say it, but that's just really the dynamic of it.
Right.
And so, what I do appreciate is that the importance of understanding that care partners are essential. That's first. The second portion of it is that we really need to be mindful of their mental health, along with ours. Everybody always worries about the patient.
And I always mention that care partners need care too.
Exactly.
So as long as we let them know that, still take time out and do what you need to do for yourself. Right. Tony, I hope you give your partner that same advice. I do. Listen, go do whatever you need to do for yourself.
Yes.
But then, when we're back together and I need your help, I still want to be as independent as I can be, but I know that you're there for me when I need you to
Absolutely.
be there for me.
I'm very strategic in that area in our relationship. Like, even when I just went through CAR-T, I rallied up all of his friends and my friends and said, make sure you get him out of the house. Call and check up on him to see how he's doing.
Right.
Be there for him through this process as well. Because, we are on this journey with someone else, even if we don't have that relationship anymore, or that marriage that you guys no longer have, or a relationship, you still have family and friends that still want to support you, and allow them to do that if they want to.
Yeah.
I'm with you 1,000%. And I want to make sure we say that to the patients, make sure you dedicate time to acknowledging your care partner and putting them in a position where they can get care.
Yes.
Like instead of maybe one of them days where you feeling so great and let's go out and do the thing. How about you feeling great and tell them you go do you.
Yeah.
And I'm feeling good today and you don't have to worry about me. There's tons of resources for mental health, different organizations. The LLS, formerly known as the LLS, now they're Blood Cancer United.
Yep.
You have That's My Word, mm.com from the That's My Word campaign from Johnson & Johnson. You got Told True from Pfizer. So these are like locations where you can learn more about myeloma and resources about getting care for your care partner and resources for that. I'm going to ask one question, and then I'm going to close out the program. I want you to just give the audience your advice or what you would want to say to care partners all across I hope we go global, but all across the world.
Like I mentioned before, I want to thank the care partners for all they do. Care partners, take care of yourself. And as the patient, we know that you need care just as much as we do. So keep doing what you're doing. Be there for us. Let us know, or we're letting you know, it's not the patient, it's the disease.
Ooh, I like that.
Wow.
Tony?
Yes, care partners, we can't do this without you. But in that same sentence, you take care of yourself, you provide yourself that need to have these conversations with not only us as a care partner, but reach out to other people around you if you need to talk to someone else. And we know how hard and difficult that it is. Us being as patients, it's difficult and it's hard. We're on medication. Some of the stuff helps us get through it. You guys are not on the medication, so I
Don't
get
share
it.
No med. Don't be sharing no med.
Yes, right. And I share that with my partner as well. But I just want you to know that thank you for continuing to lift us up. We will lift you up, and any support that you need, don't hesitate. We're here for you.
Ooh. Michael.
I don't know how I sum it. That you guys did it beautifully, other than the simple fact of a huge thank you. But I want to just digress for just a second and say that care partners come in all shapes and sizes.
That's true.
They're not just a spouse or a partner.
Yeah.
They could be your best friend. They could be your mother. They could be your kids. They could be your neighbor. And everybody out there, they all want to help. And so the central care partner, make sure you tap those resources. If you're busy with your job, or you're busy with hey, you want to make dinner, and your other person needs to go to an appointment, tap that friend, tap that neighbor, so that all that stress doesn't fall on you.
Yeah.
You said a minute ago, it takes a village. It really does, and that village can make a big difference, really. So
I
thank
agree.
you.
Absolutely.
So I'm going to just say, don't take your care partner for granted. That's what I would say. Be very intentional about observing their headspace, where they're at in life, especially in times where, we can get so overwhelmed with the things we're dealing with, just from a physical standpoint and the disease, but just don't take them for granted. I am so grateful for all care partners out there. And I want to say we love you dearly. Now, my favorite part, before I close out my show, I need, if you want to get hyped up, geeked up, psyched up, pumped up, I need one hip hop song that you would be playing. Thomas.
MCMI, people call me Milk. Audio 2, baby.
I love it. I hope I ain't catch these dudes off guard. Let me tell y'all, I'm not really feeling comfortable about going over this way. I'll be honest with you. But we're going to give it a shot.
Right?
One hip hop song. Tony.
I'm going to say A Tribe Called Quest.
Okay,
I mean,
okay.
But that's the group. What song?
But still, I can't think of the song now that's on the top of my head that used to hype me up all the time.
Apple Bomb.
Got the vibe, y'all?
Vibe,
It probably was the vibe.
I got
we
the
got
vibe,
the jazz.
y'all.
We got the
We got the vibe, y'all.
Okay, got
Yes.
you. Okay, we got that. Thank
Yes.
you, Jesus.
Yes.
All right, here we go. Here we go.
I don't have a damn clue. There's lots of songs out there to hook me up, but I don't have a damn clue about what hip hop. Do I love to listen to it? Yes. Could I name one
my
person?
God.
Hell no. So
Listen, I think that's the perfect way to close out this show. Sky. Hey, gentlemen, I want to thank you so much for coming on the program. I really want to give a shout out to our sponsors, Johnson & Johnson and Pfizer. And as I always say, peace out and keep 5-0 guessing.
Peace and love.